This information has been recently as of late, and just to let you know, even though that I've already completed two Generation 5 predictions that were made before this announcement, consider that you're gonna have to wait until May and onwards if when I'm gonna make more videos regarding of these 3 or 4 new characters. So, Hasbro has been releasing information about Generation 5 and the new characters involving Generation 5. And as I can tell, it's going to be in the CGI, which is basically what we've usually hoping when we got the announcement from Hasbro a few months or last year. And I can say for a fact that the animation is what it is. It's not bad, it's not horrible, but on the other hand, it's not as good as I thought. I mean, granted, the animation was gonna be CGI, and character designs are gonna be a lot more off compared to the 2D animation ones from Generation 4. But on the other hand, I'm just gonna have to accept that this is gonna be the animation we're going to expect, except it's gonna be all in movie form and not in the TV budget. Well, they're gonna be making a series either this year or next year. Now, let me make one thing perfectly clear, is that some of these characters have a name. This character is Lizzie, who I assume that they're gonna probably have her as one of the comic reliefs in the series, mainly the fact that she is trying to they're trying to make her really fun-loving and also really hyperactive, kind of like Pinkie Pie, because just by looking at her character design and just seeing that she was completely a lot more happy when she completely hide from the other side of the screen, which is something that usually Pinkie Pie would do, I can say that she's basically the next Pinkie Pie, except that she might be a lot less hyperactive than Pinkie Pie. And considering that the information that I've heard that this isn't going to be about the elements of harmony, this is going to be a lot more different than I expected. Same goes to Peep. I'm not trying to. I think that's what her name is, and Sunny Star Scout. For me personally, I think that Peep, who is probably gonna be one of the Alcorns in this show, which she is, well, or Pegasus, I think that she's probably gonna have a wall that is gonna be a lot more different compared to Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash. And let me make one thing clear, is that what I've seen about her character, even just by looking at the screenshots and information regarding of Generation 5, I can say for a fact that she might be able to be one of the most important, probably one of the most expected, the highly expected characters, if I did pronounce that right, in Generation 5, to see what development that she can get the most. Because let me tell you, is that anticipation is really important, and whenever I completely look at these 3 characters, I can assume that they're gonna have a huge development when the movie comes out. Now, yes, the series is gonna be coming out later on, which will give the characters like them more development and also how they live their lives. But just by the idea that this isn't going to be much of a reboot, since that is taking place 1,000 years after Generation 4, this is going to be a lot more unexpected than I was hoping for. Granted, I pretty much knew that it's going to be a lot more different compared to what I've witnessed involving what Generation 4 has to offer and being its own thing when it aired 10 years ago. And thinking the idea that Generation 5 is going to be a total reboot won't probably catch everyone else's interest. But who knows, maybe once the more information comes out, like the trailer and what we experience from that trailer, maybe there could be hope for these new characters. Next is Sunny Star Scout. who I assume is going to be one of the main characters of Generation 5. Just by looking at some of the images, well, she's going to be like Twilight Sparkle, except that she isn't going to be an Alcorn, and she's going to be an Oath Pony. And just like what we witnessed from other media and information that I've seen in the past, is that she's going to be the character that makes all the difference. If you saw my previous Generation 5 video, well, not really predictions, but video involving the latest information that the main character is going to be an activist, if I did pronounce that right, it might explain onto why this character, Sunny Star Scout, is going to be a lot more different compared to Twilight Sparkle. Especially the images of Celestia and Rainbow Dash. It is going to be really odd that it might be a possibility that the characters of the 4th generation might have passed away by the time that 1,000 years is completely passed, but at the same time, it is still debatable on what's going on. Besides, the furniture and stuff isn't something that you would usually expect from the original generation of My Little Pony, because I know full well that other beds, despite being in different animations from 2D and 3D, aren't going to be that possible to make even in the pony world without any humans. And let's go talk about the synopsis about Generation 5, the movie. In the new movie, the pony world of Equestria has lost its magic, which I assume that after Twilight completely ends her reign as ruler, a lot has changed so much. Friendship and harmony has been replaced by paranoia and mistrust, and ponies have now lived separate by species. Sunny, a festy and idealistic Lone Earth pony, is convinced there's still hope for this divide to war, but her slightly misjudged and often hilarious efforts to change hearts and minds have led to her being branded a mischief. When Sunny befriends a lost unicorn named Izzy, who wanders incorrectly into the Earth Pony town of Maritime Bay, the town has had enough. Lizzie and Sunburst must embark on an epic adventure that will include a daring jewelry heist, outrageous conspiracy theories, I can't spell the E word, musical numbers. Obviously, there's going to be musical numbers, so I guess my songs video that I've made last month was considered worthless. And the words clearest flying Paranomian, if that's actually a new creature that we're going to witness. And yes, I did pronounce the name wrong, don't judge me. The adventures will take them to a faraway lands and force them to challenge the status quo by facing their fears and making new friends out of old enemies. The world Sunny has dreamed of her entire life could finally become a reality as Sunny and her newfound friends fight to prove that even little ponies can make a big difference. So, just by reading the synopsis of Generation 5 movie that's going to be airing in Netflix of this year, there's going to be a lot to experience. And I'm just going to say this right now. If COVID-19 didn't happen and the fact that we're going to watch the animation like this, I can guarantee you that the movie might bomb at the box office. Not trying to be rude, but considering of how poorly received that the movie from Generation 4 received when it aired in October of 2017, I guess it's probably a good choice to have this movie air on Netflix. Anyway, I can guarantee you that the information involving these characters are just basically a starting point of what we should expect from Generation 5 as a whole. It's honestly unbelievable to think that these 3 characters are just going to be the half of what we expect from Generation 5. Granted, it is debatable if there's going to be more main characters, but on the other hand, in some of the screenshots we see Royal Guards, which I'm pretty assume that they're just basically background characters. They don't really do much whatsoever other than just being Royal Guards and nothing more. So, I can guarantee you that they'll probably hide more information just so that we can see more new characters along the way. And just by thinking about of how these informations of Generation 5 is about to be exposed, and what we're wondering of how Generation 5 is going to take the CGI route instead of the 2D route, I'm probably going to be a little bit more novice. Granted, I do think that doing the CGI route was a good idea, but I checked the animation, and it's just going to be like every other CGI film when it comes to using CGI and not doing something different, like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse or the Sponge on the One. Even if I didn't watch that movie nor appreciate it, has better animation than this. But that's just my opinion. All I can say is that once we into May and those several other ideas I can do involving these three characters, I'm gonna have to get more information before I make more videos involving Generation 5. Granted, I make one Generation 5 predictions per month, but on the other hand, I am gonna try my best to actually give my knowledge of what I can think about what these characters are gonna be doing once Generation 5 comes around at the end of this year. Believe me, I really don't like much of these characters just by watching the synopsis and the information involving them. Not saying that they're terrible, but on the other hand, we still need to watch the movie, not to mention take our time to give our analysis of who these characters are and completely understand what they're coming from before we actually like them. Because as far as I'm concerned, this is still the beginning, and there's going to be more characters coming along the way. So either next month or in April, we might be able to get the trailer of Generation 5, the movie of Generation 5, and hopefully when we get that, I might be able to think of an idea for a Generation 5's predictions video. Again, the only time will tell regardless of what we expect. So we're just gonna have to wait to see if it's for the best. All I could say is that with this movie streaming on Netflix and I can't be able to download the movie when it's up at Netflix, I will still review the movie regardless in September or in October, depending on what happens then. All I can say is that it's either me just trying to figure out a different way to review this movie by finding some screenshots and sometimes spoil the movie, which are mostly what my channel usually does when it comes to tackling new information, or just doing it a spoiler-free review, which I don't think it's really a good idea because I barely make spoiler-free reviews that much, and if I ever gonna do that, I know for a while I'm gonna have to review this movie again in the future. So I'm not gonna bother doing a spoiler-free review again for the Generation 5 movie, but then again, it is debatable if you guys want to get spoiled or not if you haven't seen the movie that's premiering on Netflix. All I can say is that as much as I'm looking forward to Generation 5, along with the information that's coming out, I'm just going to be hoping that what we are going to get from Generation 5 will easily subvert our expectations, but done in the right way. Because like I said, there are more characters that are going to be coming, and I know that there's going to be a lot more changes and more unexpected surprises along the way. Just like what we see the posters of Celestia and Rainbow Dash. But at the same time, this is My Little Pony we're talking about, and this is no longer a reboot since that it's taking place 1,000 years after Generation 4. Anyway, I'm Lonely Fanboy 4 here, and I'm just letting you know I'm not uploading my March schedule because you pretty much know what schedule it is, and I am going to be uploading those videos. Just sit tight. Just make sure that everything is going to be fine.